defending, I think, it's like.
Are we live? Of course we're live. 2022 settings, baby. People deluded. I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's woke up with a spring in their step, man. First full week, basically, of January 2022. Let's all make sure we have a good week, we have a good month, and ultimately a good year. If you're listening to this, then that means you've woken up today, and we can't take that for granted. As usual, wishing you lot continued health, physically, spiritually, financially, mentally, and as you know, people, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. 2022 road to 10k followers on Twitch. Make sure you're following and subscribing, especially if you've got Amazon Prime, and 50k on YouTube. So yeah, every day I'm waking up with that. Now we're going to speak about the Premier League and whatnot. Obviously, it looks like Lukaku's having his next sort of soap opera drama with Thomas Tuchel and all of them things, and they're scheduled for a meeting today. Allegedly, Thomas Tuchel said he sought out the advice of senior players. So it's Thomas Tuchel versus Lukaku. We'll go over the Premier League, with the exception of Man United Wolves, which is also happening today. And yeah, man, it is what it is, man. You know, we're here for about 40 or so minutes. As you know, I will be live at 11:30 on YouTube. Saying that, I know we're going to be speaking about Isaac and Torreira and any other Arsenal business, but I haven't made the live stream and whatnot. I'm back over here at 2:30 to play Football Manager. And again, I'm acting up, man. I need to find the time. I need to make the thumbnail, man. Because Man United Wolves, we might as well watch it, innit? Little 5:30 kickoff, innit? Before we all, 2022 festive period done tomorrow, innit? You got your little bank holiday if you're in the UK, and then it's a wrap, innit? It don't matter anymore. It's back to the real world. No one cares anymore, really. So I hope everyone's doing well and safe, man. Lukaku is the gift that keeps on giving. I know you shout out my guy Rico Squeezy. I'm sure if you've seen the clips resurfacing of Lukaku when he's doing up the American accent and that he's killing me. He's killing me. Man, they're talking about the roster and that. What's this guy talking about, man? But yeah, Lukaku versus Thomas Tuchel. It's a bad to get it, people. Like, obviously, you know, we'll get into Chelsea versus Liverpool. On one hand, bro, man scored 2 goals. Put in a performance against, came back from 2 goals down. We, you know, in a team that by Chelsea standards are hitting a bit of a blip and underperforming, you know, without his big 90 million pound man. And really, Lukaku, based on the last, obviously prior to the Liverpool game, based on the 180 minutes played with Chelsea, I think he's looked like one of their brightest players off the bench against Villa and from the start against Brighton. So it was a big call. Obviously, if it remained 2-0 down to Liverpool, you know what's going to be said about Thomas Tuchel. He's losing the dressing room, you know, what happened there with Lukaku, this and that and the third, you know, like what happened, you know. He won. I mean, they didn't win, but it feels like a win coming from 2 goals down. They got a performance. It shows that the boys aren't fractured. It shows that, you know, he rules with not an iron fist. That's not the right word, but he's a disciplinarian where need be. And again, the thing is, why I would like either Thomas Tuchel or Lukaku to come out with the truth is because we'll never know. You see some outlets saying other players are siding with Lukaku. Some are saying people are siding with Thomas Tuchel. What I would say as an Arsenal fan, don't get twisted. I love to see it over there at Chelsea. As an Arsenal fan, though, away from all of that, it's annoying. I know it can be to have plenty of talking points from a footballing point of view to discuss about Chelsea and whatnot. But then you've got the love dramas and the soap operas and things like that. And for me, it's bewildering, Car. It feels like Lukaku's been back at Chelsea for 2 minutes. And I do think there's a way they can come to a resolution, but I don't see how it happens. And do I see someone buying Lukaku in January? Probably not. End of the season, maybe something could happen, but you know, it's hardly the second coming of stuff really at Chelsea. It's almost, you know, it was a bigger overhyped return of the prodigal son since Pogba, really. And now the whole way the Pogba things worked at United. But Thomas Tuchel, there's a poll up. Big up yourself, B, for making the morning streams interactive. Make sure you're voting in them things there. Thomas Tuchel says he will talk to Romelu Lukaku on Monday about returning to the squad. As you lot know, he was dropped throughout from the whole squad for his interview, which was weeks before, and it'd be interesting if Chelsea were in a healthier way and everything was going right and them comments did drop, what would have been happening. It's a bit like Lukaku, right is right and wrong is wrong. I mean, like Aubameyang. But if Aubameyang was scoring 20 league goals and was as vital to the Arsenal team at the moment as Martinelli since he's come back in, historically Saka, Smith Rowe, now Odegaard and these guys, would these actions have been taken? I don't know. It's a big call from Thomas Tuchel because his side struggled to, by their own standards, struggled to score goals really, and he's one of the only goal scorers really. So yeah, man, Lukaku said he wasn't happy. I've said it before. Personally, I don't feel what Lukaku said, apart from flirting with Inter Milan and sounding like a Oreo, was that really and truly. And obviously, where Lukaku's going a bit wrong, apparently Tim Howard said Lukaku was texting him and things like that. Again, maybe Lukaku reckons he can outlast the manager and he thinks Thomas Tuchel's days may be numbered. I don't know. Tomorrow, which is today, said tomorrow there's a meeting and we will decide. Monday we will discuss and we will all meet and we will take a decision. He also said, he's our player. There's always a way back. So, boy, that's something that Aubameyang never got. He's our player. There's always a way back. Arteta didn't drop that, so there's a way back for Lukaku. Maybe he's got to, hold his hands up. Not necessarily say I'm sorry, but maybe just shut up, really, and be in the doghouse for a while. But everyone makes themselves a hero. If Lukaku gets back in the squad, he's on the bench. I don't know who their next game is, and he scores. He's a hero. Everybody loves him. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Have these man not got Man City after the international break, and man are gonna need Lukaku throughout the whole season? Unless, I know Roman Abramovich is Mr. Money Man, they can drop bags on a striker in Jan, but no one likes to be bumped. Everyone's gonna try to bump Chelsea because they know you need a striker. They know you need other goal scorers. They know what's going on with Lukaku, so they're gonna try and bump you. Now Chelsea do love getting bumped for strikers, so why not? But yeah, man, it's a bit of a shame, like. Surely it didn't need to go this way so early in the man's career there, man. And I'm trying to find the next fixtures, people, because obviously we've got the FA Cup. Chelsea's next game in the Premier League is, it's the 15th. The 15th of January, which is away at Manchester City, 12:30 kickoff. But you're gonna need Lukaku for that, like on the bench or something. Then who have Chelsea got after that? They got Spurs they got Spurs better times. They got, they've got the game I've just said. Well, they're still in the Champions League. They're still like I know Chelsea's form is on the floor at the moment by their own standards, but they're still second in the league. They came back from 2 goals down. They're still in everything, more or less. Like FA Cup to come at the weekend. Can you do this all without your striker? Because Defender FC surely is not sustainable. I don't know. Lukaku probably is trying to get man fired. Tuchel could probably see that he's a bit rubbish. To be fair, from a footballing point of view, we said on Twitch and on YouTube when it happened, it made sense for them to buy Lukaku. They got a lot of chefs and they got no one that can taste the food. Lukaku is on eating, and it felt in theory that last season that Thomas Tuchel, their side could create. They didn't really have a goal scorer, so it made sense. Anyone, you can say what you want about Lukaku, the man is a goal scorer, so it made sense. But I said at the time, I said it's not sustainable. They will come I didn't think because of this, but they'll look to replace him or find the next one. He's not that mobile sort of guy that Tuchel likes. I know a lot was said about he's a different player since Inter Milan. I hear it, but unless he returns a 5'8" link-up play man that can drop deep and running behind, it's a myth, really. It's a myth. It's a big, big myth. I mean, Lukaku, you know what you're gonna get with him, really. He's not at 28 years of age. You're not going to see him change his game. So it is what it is. He has scored 7 goals in 18 appearances since he's joined Chelsea from Inter Milan. And I mean, I have to discount one because anyone could score against Pablo Mari and whatnot. It is what it is. Don't really know where I stand. Same where I was with Aubameyang and Arteta. I'm sure Tuchel is right. Lukaku is right. I'm sure Tuchel is wrong. Lukaku is wrong. I think there's 3 sides to every story, as you lot know. There's what my man Lukaku is saying, what my man Thomas Tuchel is saying, and what is actually the case, the truth. That in the middle is what it is, man. I haven't seen a player be so vocal about his problems in recent times because he wants him gone. Exactly. Lukaku's playing the long game. He looks like he knows, boy, if there's not a proper league challenge, if it's a iffy campaign in the champs, Roman Abramovich is probably the worst owner to try and rest on past success. He's not on that. The minute you won the Champions League, he'll give you a firm handshake and he gave you his contract, but you need to show me you can deliver this again and do all these things again and whatnot. And the gap is getting, you know, from Chelsea, I mean, from City, sorry, and the other teams, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, both here now and, you know, probably in the future. I know they bought Grealish, but I do fear that one day, you know, Pep is going to say, you know what, I need to sign some truly, truly world-class man. He signed some good players. Is he good? There's a case for City. When are they going to go out and buy proper marquee man? Like, I know they're never going to get Neymar, but these sort of guys, and, you know, that will further run them away. I mean, I saw a tweet that Pep has turned this league into the Bundesliga, and to a degree, you can't disagree with what he said, with what that tweet said, but it is what it is in that regards, man. It is what it is. For Chelsea, the reality is you're going to need him. Either unless some academy guy takes an opportunity, they buy a striker, you're going to need Donny, innit? Or unless someone else provides goals, because Defender FC is not sustainable. You know, you look around that Chelsea squad, on paper, there should be goal scorers. But would you say you can look to Werner? You can look to Havertz. You can look to Pulisic to score goals? Be the goal scorers? I don't know. Based on yesterday, shout to Kovacic and Pulisic. Pulisic missed one easy chance, and then he made up for it with a very good finish. That was a very good game to deep from the neutrals, really and truly. No one is trying to buy a big Rome at his current price, not even Inter. But you're not getting Chelsea. Listen, Chelsea love to get bought. You're not getting 90 million back. And to be fair, even if you wanted Lukaku, you could say, well, boy, I'll give you 50. I'll run you an extra 20 million in variables and whatnot. But and the thing is, at 28 years of age, he's still young, but this is where you need stability over your future. You know, you don't need speculation months after joining Chelsea. And like you lot are saying, I think he's playing. I think he's thingy. You know, I think he's playing the long game, as one of you said. They got a better striker in Dzeko, and I mean, their president is drawing them out, man. The timing of that interview is weird, though. No, Chelsea was still well in the league race and in the Champions League. Man was childish, in my opinion, on not speaking to Tuchel first. Frankie, I hear you, but respectfully, we don't know if he's had, you know, one thing I know about Lukaku, and I used to work in media, and I didn't interview him, but my company did. He's a very honest speaker. He speaks very thorough. He actually says more than most footballers. So from what I've seen coming across him, he doesn't come across as someone that mixes his words in it. I'd imagine he must have had some sort of conversation, and Tuchel's probably told him, listen, you're not the guy tactically. I think they're two very frank guys in Tuchel and Lukaku. It's a very frank conversation. I don't know if he's gone to Thomas Tuchel first and got sidelines, but you are right, at face value, you could have. What I would say is, personally, the Inter Milan thing is where he started to go wrong, man. Even then, he didn't really say much wrong. I think he's overcompensating because of how he left. Cool, you want to play there in the future. I think he done too much. He started kind of alluding to, I want to return there when I'm kind of still able. And at 28 years of age, you got to probably be looking at in the next 18 months, 2 years. So did you anticipate really staying at Chelsea for that long, you know? And all that talk around, we all know he loves Chelsea and he wanted to do this thing there as a teenager. He left. There was unfinished business. Was that all capped then? You know, really and truly. The Inter Milan thing, as I said, was the issue. The timing of what it came when it came out didn't help him, because at the time, like you said, they were in a title race. If it comes out then I don't know if the language would have been the same. And I just feel, when I look at the words he said, personally, it would annoy me as a manager, because it creates uncertainty and bare noise. And you already know how some of these journalists are adding their own sprinkle on things. But he actually hasn't said anything. He said, but I need to work hard and all of these things, really. Unrelated, but I love the channel name. Appreciate that. If you lot don't know, check out the YouTube, man. When you need a result, you will call all your best players. They should have just gave him a fine. Trust. The Inter Milan stuff baffled me as well, 700%. Who was missed more, Big Rom or Klopp? Based on that game, I'll be real, neither, because maybe, do you know what? There was times I was looking at that Chelsea game and saying, Lukaku might have been able to do a thing there in his form. And there was times you could see maybe Klopp gives this game an added extra, but Chelsea came from 2 goals down. They scored 2 goals. 2 goals in, like, at the time, 4 minutes? I can't say they missed Lukaku for that then. You know, it's like when Aubameyang was dropped for the Spurs game. If we lost that, what's going on with Aubameyang being dropped there? Which did happen and we won, I can't say anything really and truly. You know, so it's a dodgy one. I think, the assistant that Klopp's coming with, I forgot his name. He was coming with mad energy, and I think people, I think the fan, obviously, people are going to miss Klopp in the same way, man. Arsenal players probably miss Mikel Arteta, same way. But we got to remember these coaching staff, they're not the manager, but they're part of the squad. So, I used to play Sunday League, I still do. When I used to play for Norseman and Edmund All Stars, we had Darren and Snatch. Now, Darren, I'll call the Black Pep Guardiola, and there's a big reason as to why I see football the way I do. He was the top don, Snatch was the assistant, but it weren't a thing where Snatch was the assistant, really. Snatch held his own in his own world, in his own way. He had his own weight in gold. He would do his own sessions. We would ride for him and listen to him as much as Darren. I can't lie, I was more shook as Snatch than Darren, because Snatch was a madman. You mess around, beer laps, bear push-ups. He was on a military thing, proper disciplinarian, but we had that respect for him. And sometimes Darren, my point being, sometimes Darren weren't there, but you'd have the same effort, the same work ethic. So when you're part of the coaching staff, it's different. You look at, going back to my club, Arsenal, the set piece coach, the Arsenal players were riding for him because they see what they're working on. So it's all part of a team thing, really and truly. And how many of you played Sunday League where you might have a manager? Well, it used to happen at Everton All Stars. We have a manager, big up Glenn. He would say his own stuff. And then people's parents would be like, yo, you lot are doing shit, or this and that. Or other people, Paul Furlong used to be our coach. He'd say it's 5 pence. So I don't really feel it makes much of a difference, but of course it's an added edge, It's an added edge. Who knows? Probably if Klopp was there, then maybe they don't bottle that 2-0 lead. But, I think Liverpool have shown anytime they haven't got anything close to their strongest 11, they're in trouble against Spurs. Spurs should have packed them, really and truly, They're all over the place. I wouldn't say there was as much all over the place against Liverpool, against Chelsea, but there was numerous periods they did look all over the place. And anytime you go 2-0 up in the Premier League, you need to go get 3 points, or you need to make sure you don't lose, because the next goal is crucial, especially a team like Liverpool that challenge for league titles and all of these sort of things, people. So on one hand, going into the game, it looked like Chelsea were closer to full strength than Liverpool. So I'm sure both teams would have taken a point, but considering Liverpool were 2-0 up and you're fighting City and you're seeing you've dropped points already, it's an L. For Chelsea, again, you didn't start the game well enough. Of course, goals change, moments and goals change games. And I do think I'm probably reaching, but I think Pulisic had a bit of a dodgy tackle. Mane, definitely the ref has bottled that in the first minute. I didn't catch it first time round, but that is an elbow. And I personally feel what benefits Mane is I'm not saying he's not a nice guy, but he's projected as a nice guy, wouldn't hurt a soul. That is Mane. Mane is a nice soul, but he does that quite a lot, that elbow, that dark art sort of stuff, really, and he gets away with it. I think the referee bottled it because I didn't want to be the ref known as he's changed the game and whatnot, there could have been the same old spectacle which happened yesterday, and it could have been changed with a red card. I think the ref bottled being a part of that, really and truly. So yeah, man, obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold, fantastic pass for Salah's goal. Kovacic, what a finish. Pulisic, not bad either. But I think both teams were really struggling for quality. People were struggling for the first part of the game, struggling to play 5-yard passes. All 4 goals have come out of calamitous decisions. Trevor Chalobah's bugging out, Van Dijk and the whole of Liverpool's back line are at 6s and 7s for both of the goals, especially the second one. Really and truly, the first one is a terrific strike by Kovacic, but what led to the corner wasn't good enough, and they're not clearing their lines. Now, 9 times out of 10, Kovacic isn't going to do that for all his ability, or in a Premier League, you're not going to do that. But yeah, I think both teams would have taken a point. I think both teams showed positive moments, and I think both teams were quite sloppy. I would say, based on the second half, if I was a Chelsea fan, I would have liked my team to wrap it up, because it did feel like they were turning on the gear and it looked like Liverpool might just bottle, and credit to Liverpool, because again, they've gone there with an understrength team. For both teams, a draw doesn't help. Obviously, Chelsea remains second. Liverpool do not get back on that, but the real winners are City. What a fantastic spectacle it would have been if Arsenal were able to get those 3 points. But it's difficult when you're playing 13 players, really. You're playing 13 players. You're playing their 11. You're playing the referee, and you're playing Pep Guardiola. But it is what it is. You think Henderson threw Mane under a bus? What did he say? I don't know. What did he say? If it was my teammate, right is right and wrong is wrong. But I'll probably get onto Mane in private. In the public, I didn't see it. The game was going on. I never saw it, and all of these things. Terry, screw loose. Big up yourself, man. It's a bit weird seeing your Twitch without your DP, my guy. But I know who you are. That highlight of Liverpool always gives teams a chance, especially on Trent's side, bro. Trent, I've said it before, yeah. For me, Trent is a world-class fullback. He's not a world-class defender. You know, I feel in the present day, eyes in the back of his head can do everything, but I think he really he's not as bad defensively as people make out, but I think he struggles, and I don't think he smells danger enough. I think it's a culture shock whenever he has to defend, because Liverpool 9 times out of 10 are just moving to every team. It must be a dream being a fullback in Klopp's system. That's as big as being the creative midfielder. We know that's where the goals come from. You know, one day Trent is going to still have to do that, but a manager might say, listen, that's not going to cut it. The high line always gives you a chance. I think depth is what kills Liverpool. At the end of the day, they grinded out a result, but there's too much of a drop-off in quality, in my opinion, when certain players are not there. I can't lie, big up Fabinho, and he had a decent game, but Kante was different class in that game. Couple times Kante just savaged him, really, and Partey's loading. You see what Partey did against City? I'm getting ready to throw him in them conversations now. I'm playing. He's got a long way to go, but yeah, man. Let me know, Antonio, what Henderson said, because I don't know if he threw Mane under a bus. The goals in yesterday's game were so aesthetically pleasing. I am still high off. Fair play. Yo, DG, not gonna lie, the way you man played against City, I'm worried about the North London derby, just hoping for a Conte masterclass. I mean, the counter-attack is where we struggle. I mean, that game is in isolation, you know, fundamentally. As much as I find positives, we still lost, bro. No, we still lost. We still got a shit record against the top 6. Don't get it twisted. As I've said bare times, better result, yes, than I thought. Better performance. You know, we fought, we was competitive. You know, we had desire and all them things there. You know, committed when we was down to 10 men. There was a period for me watching the game again from minute 20 to about 25. Let me lie and say minute 30. We looked like the Premier League champions and City looked like dogs. You know, really and truly. But all of that doesn't mean anything. You get points for winning. You don't get points for playing well. Playing well is dead. I've seen Leeds play well on occasions against City and not win. Against us and not win, you know. Wolves played well against City. So it was a committed performance. But at the same time, I don't want to gas up losing, innit? You know, fundamentally, we're still lost. We need points on the board. It is competitive. It was positive. The game plan did work. The referee is atrocious. Things went against us. You know, Xhaka shouldn't be having hands on his, you know, hands on a man. He's looking for it. The more I see it, Odegaard's one, I don't understand it. The only thing I won't get onto the ref is Gabriel deserved to be sent off. Rodri, dark arts masterclass, and I think that's the difference. You know, City can do this balling thing, but sometimes, you know, them victories there are sweet when you have to grind it out. City had bare games; they've been playing bare games, you know. So it was probably the best time for Arsenal to play them. They kind of dropped off with their fitness levels, and it was a big push. And if you're putting yourself in City shoes, if you're, you know, games are coming thick and fast, energy levels are not there, and you're going to an Arsenal team who are doing all right, they're buzzing, they have confidence, that's the worst thing to happen. And City showed it. They grinded out the result. Like watching the game again, the goal we conceded at the end, we're tired, we're knackered, we're finished. People are not following Rodri. Holding's not done well enough. Xhaka and Co have switched off as well. Holding's done terrible he's ball watching for the first phase. The second phase, he's not done well enough. He's the wrong side of Rodri. You know, Laporte has wanted it more than Ben White. Laporte is making that run. As tired as you are, you cannot, you know, who sets up the goals? Kevin De Bruyne. We did well against him, but you cannot at any moment, especially the last period where they're chasing 3 points, let him get up, get his head up and look and play a pass. You're in trouble. It's peak. So, yeah, man, Thomas Partey looking mad as well, looking like Atletico Partey, nutmegging, man, composing and winning the ball back, chopping guys, you know. Tomiyasu, hold your head high, you know. Partey, hold your head high. Another big game goal for Saka. Martin, watching the game again, we did well against them in the wide areas. Martinelli, one of our best players on the pitch. I know we missed the tapping, but he'll be back, man. It's nothing, innit? We go again. You know, there's plenty of positives, but the reality is, man, that's all there is. We're on 35 points. People are picking up points behind us. Your team forever, Spurs, sadly, grinding out result against Watford. I can't lie. I'm never really confident, but I'm confident against you lot. I can't lie. You know, Conte or no Conte, I can't lie. My man have to win that game. When last did we win at Spurs? We have to win that game. We know the counter-attacking is a thing, but I just think we're looking at better health. Form goes out the window, but we should be moving to in that North London derby. And for Arsenal, we need to get with it because we've got, including City, we've had City, we've got you lot, then we've got Burnley who are fighting relegation. You sprinkle in them Liverpool results, you know, you got to, you know, it's business end of the season. You lot got Chelsea about 3 times, you know. How many times are you and Chelsea trying to run the Conte derby and all of that stuff, man? Yeah, I understand your point, but respectfully, I've never seen you boys turn up against Liverpool, City, etc. I hear that. We did beat Liverpool at the Emirates a few thingies ago. We have beaten both teams in cup competition. I hear you though. It was a better performance, but fundamentally, it's not a win. And I've not played like that, but I've seen us do all right. You know, I remember a few years ago, City away. Remember when Ozil was getting shouted at by Mertesacker? That was the game for me that really kicked on Sane. We had them up in the first half. Things changed. You know, I remember, you know, we go back a few years ago, Alexis Sanchez, Jack Wilshere, I think even Danny Welbeck might have been playing. I think we had a draw at the Emirates. Alexis scored a banger in that game, and Wilshere should have scored. So I've seen us be competitive. You know, fair enough, it weren't, all right, we was in it for half an hour, whatever, but we didn't. And for me, I know it's difficult with City, but for me, I've seen my team generally in August, if you're looking at it, you know, Goodison Park, Old Trafford, at home to City. It's not a given you're going to win these games, but you need to cut. You think if you can get something out of these games here, you might have something to say in relation to whatever you're trying to do. And for me, whatever way we shape it, we've had our hands on victory at all three occasions, and we've let it snatch. So this is where we need to go to the next level. Players need to learn to come up to control their emotions as well. You know, Gabriel, control it. I love it. Don't change, but relax. For me, even Xhaka, the penalty, sorry, is happening. It seemed like he's still giving it with the ref. I love to see it from him, from Odegaard, from Ramsdale, from White. I love it, but we need to know there's a time and a place. Really, we bossed them a couple of times, but 3 points, bro. You know, I've seen Spurs beat City more recently than us. So there's got to be, well, not when it's mattered. I have to. I can't praise Spurs too much. But, you know, we need to win respectfully. As much as I'm full of admiration for it, and you can see on my YouTube, you know, I'm full of praise. There's a lot of positives to take from the game, but you lost, bro. Like, you lost. You still, what, 13 or so games unbeaten, beaten to City. Still ain't mashed them up. Never got 3 points. Now we gave ourselves some insurance. But yeah, man. Tactically, it looked like it worked, though, and I'm not gonna lie. Every week, you know, this is what I want to see from Arteta. You're seeing little things build up and seeing how we want to play. Now, we've had our club in negative sentiment, and everyone and their nan was saying sack Arteta. Right now, again, probably a lot more healthier towards Arteta, and he's only got 18 months to run on his deal. So I wonder how fans would feel now. I only care about me, you know. I only care about May. In May, of course, we're going to look back and, you know me, I do my little season reviews and things like that. But I'm not going to be just harping on about what a terrible August, what a fantastic December. All I care about is where I finish in May, because that should decide if people stay in their jobs or not, really and truly. Arsenal need to get back into Europe. There are building blocks. Reality is we haven't got time to build. You know, we need to be patient and whatnot, but we haven't got time. The big boys are going to keep getting stronger. You know, Pep Guardiola is already thinking of ways to make them bigger. I don't know what's going for Liverpool, but I'm sure they want to improve their side. One thing about Chelsea and Roman Abramovich, next season, they're going to try and do something, you know, and who else really and truly. So not just Arsenal, but Arsenal, Spurs, probably United as well, need to get their act together or move further away from what's going on, really. I would say the two elite teams, but really it's a City thing at this moment in that regards. Bro, yeah, 100%. There's something has clicked. There's more desire. There's more competitiveness. It seems like the IQ is rising. It feels like because of the stability in the lineup, and for me, there's more clarity in what we're doing in the final third and across all aspects. Players look more comfortable. Players are getting it, but we need to be able to differentiate, you know, levels and what is acceptable, or, you know, from how Arsenal used to be to now. Of course, there's massive improvements. Really and truly. But for me, as I said, man need to keep, especially in the Prem, in all teams, when you've got a point or when you've got hands on 3 points, you've got to be able to grab it. And for me, while something's clicked, we're still a team that's got bad habits, as I'd expect. A lot of these players have picked up bad habits at Arsenal. They picked up bad habits just throughout their career because that's the age they're at, or whatever, you know. And we're still a mistake-ridden team. We've got got rid of a lot of individual errors, but again, you go through half the games this season, you've seen whether it's been penalties switching off or whatever, you know. You've seen, and again, this is a variety of names, you know, and in a variety of games, even the Sunderland game where Smith Rowe lost the ball and they went and scored. We've seen Tavares do some silly stuff. Xhaka, you know how it gets. Odegaard's been a bit of a criminal at times. Pablo Marie, Lokonga and Partey. And there's other people as well. You know, Ben White's giving away a silly penalty as well. Tini's not switched on at times. And, you know, they're going to do it again. There'll be other times. Ramsdale saves us 9 times out of 10. There'll be times he switches off. This is a squad age of 23. An age of average of 23. They're going to make mistakes, but go to the next level. This is how you have to cut it out. Because I don't think our performance at Old Trafford was the worst, but fundamentally you capitulated. Summed up with the penalty that Odegaard does. I think against City we had a good game, but it's another game we've ended with 12 men. I mean, with 10 men, definitely not 12. You know, that would be good though. We probably need that. And with 10 men, and not got anything from it, and conceded really. I wouldn't say cheap goals, but yeah, man, I don't agree with the penalty. And I feel if you look up, go and check out my tactical review. If you look at the build up to that penalty, you know, the wickedest thing is, I think Xhaka, Gabriel, and Tini, and actually Martinelli, we could have done better in that situation. But the maddest thing is Xhaka actually sees Bernardo Silva. The first phase, he's actually done the right thing. He's doing what you want your midfielder to do. The problem is he's been sold a dream by Bernardo Silva, and that muscle memory, because Xhaka's used to being slow to turn, pulling the man. Anytime you got your hands on a shirt, you're playing games, you know. In fact, that's probably what's tipped it. It looks like Edison's genuinely going for the ball. Fair enough, Bernardo's looking for it. You've got hands, so you know you're doing dirty. You're going to get done dirty. Your reputation's always going to go against you, Xhaka. It's a wrap. And that's where you need more intelligence from that still. Lukaku could have been a difference maker for them, but as a Liverpool fan, we bottled it. Honestly, you did, bro. You did. A team like Liverpool, you lot have gone the distance. You know that when you take a lead, especially a lead against rivals, you've got to walk away with it. Bro, I'm not going to lie. Arsenal need players. Listen, Arsenal need players like Bernardo Silva, all them guys. We need a player like Rodri, rattling our players, rattling the fans, killing the flow of the game. Dark hearts. Fernandinho looking like a proud dad. You know, man got a yellow card after Rob Holding. He only got a yellow card, I swear, for taking off the shirt. That's the sort of things you need, and that's what I think we're going to see with Arteta, assuming he stays and he keeps doing what he's doing, and we can go to the next level. I don't know that though. Tactical wise, Arteta was doing Pep proper. Do you know what? I hear it, and you're not wrong. I do think it would have been a different story if City players had more rest with us. They had the same amount of rest as us. These are the performances we need to be replicating as often as we can if we really want to be finishing in the top 4. Exactly, and winning. You don't get points for playing well. You get points for winning. Edison gets away with a lot, man. If that Arsenal game was in the FA Cup, Arsenal knocking City out, probably magic in the FA Cup, etc., etc. But sadly, it's in the Prem where it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen, really and truly. So, you know, again. And as much as I'm full of praise for Arsenal about that performance, I can't lie. Wolves could say they did that against City and were hard done by, you know, in their last game when ironically they conceded a penalty with Matinho. And a lot of teams can say that about City, that they worked hard, they grinded, you know. What Norwich could say they grinded against they grinded against United and they were done dirty by a penalty, and they might have been, but that's not going to help them stay in the league. You need points on the board, you know, really. You know, I have to differentiate playing well, doing all those things with getting the result, man, really and truly. Like, you need the results. Leeds played well against the other day. Leeds played well against Spurs. Newcastle played okay against Spurs when they just got their new owner. They didn't do enough to win. We didn't do enough to win, you know. It's as harsh as it is. I'm not being any harsh than football is. We deserve something from the game, but can I say you deserve something when you leave as tired as you might be? You're giving Kevin De Bruyne the time and space. You're letting Rodri make the runs. And again, you have to respect the desire of City, other people whose jobs are not to score. As I said, Rodri's going to get a lot of praise, but the person who really makes that is Rodri because he makes the run. But Laporte gets there before Ben White. Ben White had a good game, but he wanted it more. Ben White lost that battle. City wanted the 3 points, and you could see it. They're probably going to celebrate harder in that game than when they pump someone 7-0 or whatever, you know, because you've got to be able to do it when it's not your day. Really. Need to go back to work. It was nice listening to your analysis and channel. Definitely check out your YouTube channel as well. Appreciative. Make sure you follow and subscribe. And anyone else. Henderson, finally. Hey, man. Jonathan, late but great, man. I was asking you what he said. You finally come true with it. What has he said? You know better than me. I was disappointed with the yellow card. To be honest, Sado is going to try and win it. His eyes are always on the ball. I don't think there was intent there. So I don't think he's thrown him under the bus with that, to be fair with you. I don't think that's throwing him under the bus. When you said throw him under the bus, I thought he was gonna say it's disappointing from him for me. Do you know, Henderson's an honest guy. I'm sure when they see it back, I'm sure Liverpool they will sit there and say, chill out in it, like you shouldn't be doing that and whatnot, and things like that. It was a red card. It was. You know, Mane does get away with that a lot. You know, and Aspilicueta definitely wasn't sounding like that. Forever Spurs, you're right. At the end of the day, people are gonna be judged on results, and that's it. Respectfully, with the City game where Arsenal's concerned. Am I going to look back in May and say, well, you know what? Wait, the first 20 minutes, this and that? Or are we just going to see Arsenal 1, City 2? So, yeah, big up us for the performance. Definitely a lot of positives Arsenal can take moving forward, going into whatever we're going into. But, yeah, man, you know, you got to play well. You have to play well. Manchester United play Wolves today, and hopefully Wolves can do a thing. You know, they're getting plaudits by their new gaffer. You know, United weren't at their best against Burnley. Personally, I think United, they're due a good performance. I think it's standard procedures. I think Ronaldo and Cole get on the score sheet. I'd say Manchester United 3-1 Wolves. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet. In fact, I do. 2-0 Man United today. In terms of other results in the Premier League, Brentford came from behind to defeat Aston Villa. Everton and Rafa Benitez are in trouble because McAllister double saw them win the game, people. Shout out to Everton's Anthony Gordon, man, the Finch Farm prospect with 2 goals. But yeah, man, you know, Brighton almost bottled it after being 2-0 up, winning it 3-2, but it is what it is. Leeds dealt with Burnley, and hopefully Burnley can go down. Cornet did well and scored a consolation somewhat in hindsight, what looks like a Burnley consolation. Harrison, Stewart, and Dan James getting vital points for Leeds to move about 8 points clear of the relegation zone. As we already talked about, it was 2-2 between Chelsea and Liverpool. Arsenal, we've spoken about their 2-1 defeat to Manchester City. Spurs, it weren't pretty. It was lackluster. It was ugly, but you've got to find a way to win. And Davinson Sanchez, added on time, courtesy of a Son cross, made sure that, which is a London derby, technically, you know, Spurs won. West Ham 3, Crystal Palace 2. Now, West Ham were 3 goals up as well, and you could say they almost bottled it, but it was 2 goals in the last 7 minutes from Elise and Edouard. Elise had a good, introduction as well with a goal and assist. But, Lanzini scored a cracker. He scored a brace, but he scored a cracker for his first. Antonio did well, and obviously it is what it is. I can't lie, Jeffrey Slop hit the post in the early minutes, and that might have changed the game. It wasn't to be, people. Obviously, we've got cup action to this week as well. Arsenal have Liverpool on Thursday, and obviously, I believe on Wednesday is Chelsea Spurs, and then we'll speak about it on Friday. But you've got the FA Cup, so the festive period is kind of doing us dirty where the Premier League's concerned. So we actually have to wait a while until the Premier League actually gets back on task, people. It is what it is. But Elise is a baller, no coincidence. Former Chelsea man, another former Chelsea boy popping up and doing stuff. Baller. And it's you're keen to see how him, Eze, when fully fit, grow. I need Kone's agent, the PR he must have sold. I need Kone's agent, the PR he must have sold him to sign for Burnley. I think I got what he meant to say. Burnley gassed him, man. Get Premier League, mate. There's lots of things to do here. They gassed him. He probably rocked up in wherever Burnley is and said, "What's all this? This ain't London. This is tired." Burnley need a couple more of them players. And as I said, with Sean Dice, 10 other players are getting told the tactics. Anyone that's played for them Wolf and Abbeys and them more affluent teams, Cornet's not being given any tactics. He's being told, mate, up and down, get out there, do what you can in it. He's not being told to track runners and stuff. The geezers are the man demand people. So it is what it is. Just, mate, get up and down, up and down. You got legs in there, run about. That's literally what it's going to be, man. Let me make a timestamp of that. Lukaku versus Tuchel. Premier League review. Promoting agent deserves everything. Ralph still playing Maguire and Ronaldo for 90 minutes. One more time on Ralph. Outplay your best team. Do you know what? It's going to take time for the teething problems, but for me, it seems like he's trying to overcomplicate things, really. Have you seen the new Soccer Manager 2022, DG? The player ratings for the squad, especially with Smith Rowe, Martinelli, when you choose Arsenal as your team, are severely underrated. But them even Buki, this is why you need to get Football Manager. To be fair, they don't really rate. They haven't really been rating Arsenal's players. Like Martinelli cannot score goals in Football Manager. Boy, should we see what's going on in relation to the transfer news, people? Might as well. Transfer news. Where is it? You know me, I love a good old I love the transfer season. It allows me as an Arsenal fan to dream, really. And you can imagine. Oh, Lukaku to Spurs. To be honest, that could be a good signing for Spurs, but Chelsea and you, I mean, could there be a reality, a Harry Kane for Lukaku deal? Both players stay in London. Kane gets his wish of joining a bigger club, a more competitive team. Lukaku gets reunited with Conte, who is vexed that he left. You lot would be London skets though, if you want that, you know, because for Kane, you've been at Watford in their academy, you've been at Spurs, you've been in Watford's academy. You all know Harry Kane's a Hale End prospect, you know. Some serious London skets if they do all of that. But anyways, just whoring themselves out everywhere. Lukaku could force Conte reunion at Tottenham. I don't know if they're gonna give Lukaku his wages and all those things, but it could be something. Patterson, Rangers defender Patterson is in England, for a medical with Everton, which he's a good little player from what I've seen at Rangers. Apparently, Morata to Barcelona is 95% done. Ooh. Newcastle to land Trippier for 20 million euros. That could be good. He wants his London move back. We're definitely going to be speaking about Isaac at 11:30. I say 11:30. We need to find time to make that timestamp. I'm definitely going to be late for that, but there's that. Ikone signed for Fiorentina. There's rumours they want to pattern up to Herrera. Liverpool and United are ready to battle it out for the signing of Leeds starlet Charlie Cresswell. He's doing all right, but I wouldn't leave Leeds. You've got no reason to leave Leeds at this moment in time. Neto requests to leave Barcelona. Don't tell Edu that. Newcastle plot 50 million Darwin swoop. Darwin Núñez, that is. We need him. Roma are interested in Ndombele, managed by Jose Mourinho, where you kind of had the same things going on with what you're seeing now with Ndombele. Don't know if that will make sense. I wonder indirectly if that will make things complicated for Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who can play at fullback, but always wants to play in midfield. Who are you? Lukaku could force Conte reunion at Tottenham. Boy, probably just wassing. Axel Teshebe set for Napoli loan. Haaland won't leave Dortmund this month. Well, tell us that we don't know. I thought this meant to be January transfer window, man. Give us some controversy, man. Give us something exciting. This is not exciting. These news are not exciting. We already just spoke about that. They're still running the Dembele to Man United one, and they're saying that Man United could offer Anthony Martial as a swap. Apparently, Declan Rice. Man United have received hopes of signing Declan Rice, as he's said to be boosted. It's said to be boosted by the London club's recent form. Again, if they don't qualify for Europe, there might be something. Adama Traore is attracting interest from West Ham and Tottenham. Ooh. Do you know what? If you could get end product out of him, he'd be a serious player. But 20 million is not the worst. You know, he can play fullback, and maybe that's what Conte's on. But Botman doesn't want to join Newcastle allegedly because of threats of relegation. Aston Villa are the latest club linked with Dennis Zakaria, who is drawing interest from Liverpool, Leicester, Arsenal, Everton, has previously been linked with the two Manchester clubs in United and City, and a couple of foreign teams, Bayern Munich for one, Juventus for the other. Carlo Ancelotti has suggested the Spanish club will wait until the summer to make a move to sign Kylian Mbappe, who we all know looks likely to sign on a free transfer. England can stand up in adversity, says Joe Root. I don't know what's going on there, really. What's going on in the Premier League? Lukaku and Tuchel had their little meeting yet? Oh, shut up, Gary Neville, but he needs forgiveness. Apparently, Van Dijk has said it's City's title to lose. Boy. DG, good morning. Yesterday was my birthday. Gas for the new year. First things first, happy New Year, my guy. Thank you very much for your support. Hope you had a great birthday. Happy birthday on behalf of everyone. Hope it was lit for you, man. Thank you for supporting the content. It's a pleasure to be here day in, day out for you guys, man. DG, what position do you think Arsenal will be in after AFCON? Oof. Probably the same. Like, don't get twisted. I hope second and third, Chelsea and Liverpool continue to drop points. So every top four position, excluding Cities, is there. But I'd still back them to stay where they're staying. But, you know, you're losing Salah and Mane is a big L. You know, Jota can pull his weight. There's other players, Bobby Firmino's there, but probably third. Hopefully they slip into that. They slip beyond that. But then again, how long are they missing? They're not missing that much, are they, really? Did you catch the Madrid game? No. Highlights business. We have bad history with Spurs, and you rarely see a Spurs Chelsea transfers. That's why I'm skeptical. You know, Chelsea wouldn't, when Spurs were shit, they wouldn't sell you Modric for big boy peas. You lot rarely ever do business, really. Saying that, you lot were close to doing business allegedly for Ridiger. So maybe these things are happening, and maybe the thing that tips the balance is a relationship of convenience. Granted, Conte has made it look a bit more healthier for Kane, and it's not how it kind of was with him trying to leave, and it's all more so Lukaku at this moment. But you could see it, Kane. I'm not sure he would turn the chance down to play for Chelsea, maybe out of respect to Spurs, but they're the European champions at this moment in time. They've won the Premier League not too long ago. It is what it is. For Lukaku, again, it's bewildering, but you'd stay in London. You played for Conte. Pardon me, you're probably going to play every game for Spurs if Kane definitely isn't there. The fans would take to you because whatever you say about Lukaku, he's going to score goals. But I think that one day, definitely in January, where I can't see it happening. Maybe that will be better for Spurs because is Kane going to get the price tag that they might have got in the summer on current form? I don't know. They'd have to answer that. But I just think it's a piece of creative journalism for what it's worth. And it's just was really. So it's one of them ones, if I'm completely honest with you. So yeah, man, what else is going on in here? Van Dijk, as I've said, Van Dijk has said it's City's league to lose. Sorry, boy. That's one thing I don't like as well. I forgot to even speak about that. Senegal have accused Watford of refusing to release Ismail Assar. And this is the second one concerning Watford. Did they not do the same with Nigeria and Emmanuel Dennis? Now, this is what annoys me, and big up Ian Wright for his comments about AFCON. Now, the Euros and the World Cup are not mid-season. Let's get that one out there. But had Ismail Assar been playing for France and in an alternative universe, he'd be playing for France, and the Euros is mid-season, the Euros is in January, for argument's sake. Watford are not telling him anything. Let's be real. When it comes to African players or African competitions, as we know, there's an inferiority sort of way they look at them, like playing for your country and representing Senegal. This man was a young boy with hardly any prospects, with the dream of being a footballer. Senegal means everything to him. There's probably a young lad in his scenarios. Maybe Senegal win or don't win, but playing for his country is a massive honor. This is why I don't like when I see comments about San Marino should never play internationals. This is ridiculous. But because you think, I get it, because you want to fight to stay in the league, you think you have the right to let him turn it down. This should be at the player's discretion. If he says, I don't want to play for my country, that's a different story, rather than lock him up. He's still recovering from a knee injury. So, of course, there's a health point of view. But this is upsetting, man, because they're only doing this for African nations. They're not doing this for certain South American nations. They're not doing this for any European counterparts. It's disgraceful. It's upsetting, man, really and truly. So yeah, I'm not even going to read it, but yeah, it's another list of players. Certain clubs are not trying to release players, man, and that's the second. If it's ones like Salezu over there at Southampton, where he said I'm not going, then fair play. Or Matic, where he said he's not going. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, though, man. That's a bit upsetting. As I say to you on YouTube, bro, class always on point with what you talk about and the breakdowns, and things about how teams play even before they play, and all key moments you call bang on as well. Terry, I don't know about any of that, but I appreciate that, my guy, and even more than that, I appreciate you lot's support, man, really and truly. Yep, that's what Pep installs in those players. Busquets was exactly the same, just way more acting involved, right? Rodri can't talk, as you know. Rodri can't talk to Busquets, as you're saying for that. Rodri, Busquets probably called him up because, again, Busquets be proud of that. The only thing Rodri weren't doing is doing what Busquets was doing, and my face is melting. Someone's throwing boiling hot water over me and stuff. I've never met an actor like Busquets. Oh, God, at his finest, people. But on that note, though, people, again, I'm gonna have to love and leave you lot purely just to be able to set up the live stream at 11:30. Can't send you lot any links because it's not there yet, but I'm going live at 11:30 on YouTube to speak Arsenal. At 2:30, I'll be back on Twitch. If time will prevail, then I should be able to find time to actually, make a thumbnail for Man United Wolves. But on that note, people, you lot stay blessed, stay safe. It's been fantastic being with you lot this morning. As I said, back again tomorrow as well at 10 a.m. Yeah, Football Manager content, normal football reviews, Arsenal stuff. Obviously, we're trying to get the PS5. My PS5 is right there. Get that sorted so we can play FIFA and them things there. content, man. So yeah, make sure you're supporting the thing. Appreciate you lot. Happy New Year once again. Gonna love and leave you lot, people.